met up with acquaintance 2 at a Maverick gas station in Draper and purchased from him 15 to 30 round green-blue pills, which she understood to be fentanyl.
1 or 2 pills might be accidental. 20 or 5 times the lethal dose is not accidental, Your Honor. That is someone who wants Eric dead.
Manner of death undetermined. The murder trial of Kouri Richins resumes with testimony from the medical examiner. Plus, was her marriage in trouble? A family friend testifies that Kouri Richins felt trapped in her marriage. And a father's fate is hanging in the balance. Will defendant Colin Gray be convicted of second-degree murder? Also, an Amish mother accused of drowning her 4-year-old son, saying that she, quote, gave him to God. Defendant Ruth Miller is back in court today. We'll talk about it. It's all coming up next for you right here on Opening Statements. Good Tuesday morning to you and welcome to Opening Statements. I'm Julie Grant. Are you ready for some coffee and some court? This is the show where we get you all warmed up and ready to go for the big day ahead on Court TV Live. What a big day it's going to be and what a big show we planned for you. So let's get started. Grab that cup of coffee right now. It's time for my opening statement. A drug dealer lying? You can knock me over with a feather. In Utah, drug dealer Robert Crozier seems to have had low amnesia on the stand when he testified on Friday in Kouri Richins' trial. So while he admits to being a drug dealer, and we know that he's done some time for the same, he wasn't crystal clear on whether it was fentanyl that he sold to Kouri Richins' housekeeper, Carmen. He said on the stand it was Roxy's or oxycodone. Now, this is key to the case because Eric Richins died from a lethal dose of fentanyl. And this character can help prosecutors link the dope back to the grief author, Kouri Richins. So, the prosecution did on Monday what's called an impeachment using extrinsic or outside evidence. They played for the jury Mr. Crozier's videotaped interview with police from the spring of 2023, where he tells detectives that Carmen knew what she was buying and absolutely knew that the pills contained fentanyl. My friends, sometimes trials get messy. Witnesses who are criminals can make your job difficult when you're an advocate. Drug dealers like Mr. Crozier aren't the most upstanding, truthful people. So you do what you need to do to make things clear for the jury. And I think after seeing the tape, it's much clearer that the pills sold to Kouri's housekeeper, Carmen, contained fentanyl. Let's hope that the truth prevails in this trial. And let's hope that Mr. Crozier learned his lesson and won't be selling anybody any more drugs. That's my opening statement this Tuesday. Let me know if you like it. Right now, time for your daily docket.
I'm telling you right now, we talk about it quite a bit. All the school shootings, things that happen.
Yeah,
all
scary.
here. You getting picked on at school? He is. He's getting picked on at school, and is everything okay? That's why I keep going up there.
Yeah.
You know, because you never really know, and I don't want anything to happen to him.
In Georgia, we've got jury deliberations beginning in the trial for defendant and father Colin Gray. Court set to start up at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We'll keep you posted as we go on that verdict watch together. In Michigan, we have the state expected to rest its case in the murder trial for Dale Warner. Testimony in that one resumes at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And in Utah, we've got the murder trial of defendant Kouri Richins resuming at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, and that is where we begin this hour. The state's case continues today for the children's book grief author. Monday, jury members heard from witnesses all about Ms. Kouri's relationship with her husband, Eric, and her actions following Eric's death.
Making a determination of undetermined means that we generally can't decide between two. In this case, I would say actually generally most cases where we certify a death as undetermined, it's because in overdose deaths that we certify as undetermined, it's because I don't know enough about the person's own intent. We see it frequently in the setting, for example, of people that may have depression or other mood disorders and may maybe even prior suicide attempts, as well as they may have substance use history that they use to self-medicate their depression and things. And so in this case in specific, we did not really have any concerns about suicide in this case, but there had been concerns related to our office that perhaps someone had done something to provide this to him, and that he didn't just take it himself. But we didn't know. We had no idea how he got the stuff into his system, and so with that, we were left with undetermined.
So the choice there would have been, as opposed to accident and suicide, it was accident and homicide.
Correct.
Kouri and I were finally in a position where our husbands were no longer with us. We were just discussing life. We both have kids, our marriages, and Kouri opened up and shared that things were difficult at home. A word I remember is that she felt trapped. I learned that their marriage had a prenuptial agreement. She explained she was frustrated in the relationship, but also it would be difficult to leave. Eric would end up financially secure, and her the opposite. She mentioned maybe the kids would prefer him with the lifestyle that they had, four-wheelers and toys and opportunities, where she would have less. I felt for her. It was a hard conversation. I knew that things had been hard since their youngest child was born, and I was tender towards her current circumstance.
Is that the context of the conversation you were having that day, that she believed he was having an affair with a coworker, and that's why she was upset with her marriage and talking about divorce?
I don't recall that.
Were you aware of it at that time, that there was an affair going on between Eric and a coworker?
I'm having a difficult time understanding, because I think there was a friendship with a lady, but I don't know exactly what was going on.
Understood. That's fair. So let me rephrase it. Did you become aware that Eric, at around this time, 2019, had intimate feelings towards a woman, another woman that he worked with, that was causing problems in their marriage?
I don't remember when I became aware of it.
All right, so that was a look at day number 6. What do you think the jury is thinking so far? If you were sitting on that jury, what would your impressions be at this moment in time? Let's talk about that with our guests. I'm so happy to have on the program this morning Attorney Ben Chu and Lieutenant Mike Gould. Good morning to you, gentlemen. So let's put ourselves in the position of the jury. What might they be thinking? Ben, your thoughts, please.
Good morning, Julie. I thought your opening statement was spot on. If I'm on the jury, I'm thinking 3 words: guilty, guilty, and guilty.
Tell us how you really feel, Ben Chu. Tell us what you're really thinking. I love that you always give us your straight, honest opinions on these things. Mike Gould, are you thinking guilty, 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 or you still have some doubt in your mind? Thoughts?
Well, you know, I love you guys both, and I love your very definite opinions. Ben is not ambiguous in that way at all. But I will tell you, if I'm sitting on the jury, the 3 things I'm thinking: I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. Circumstantial cases always concern me without the proverbial smoking direct evidence, which rarely there is. You know, but being in the judicial system for 40 years, testifying on both sides as an expert for the prosecution and the defense, I come in 100%, 110% certain of my opinion. But the facts and the circumstances don't always hold up.
I hear you, and you know I love you too, Mike, and I respect your opinion always. So let's work through this. Okay, so what might be giving you the most doubt?
Well, you know, the law is peppered with reasonable doubt, right? And the prosecutor has to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. So, again, I have to listen to the totality of the facts, the totality of the evidence. But again, it's not really guilt or innocence, right? In our judicial system, it's being able to protect people's rights. And, you know, if we rely on text messages, what friends said, I wanted to kill her, I hate him, he's going to take my kids, all of these things, I think maybe I'm wrong, but these are conversations people are going through in a divorce with children and their future and all of these things, the motives that we always see, right? Jealousy, money, revenge, all of these things. So I'm waiting for that beyond a reasonable doubt.
Fair enough, Mike. Ben, let me go back to you. Is there one fact or multiple facts, for you that really tip the scales of justice in this one? Like, if you were to say it most succinctly, what is it that makes you sure she did what the state of Utah says she did?
I think the fentanyl, and I think the drug dealer's lack of memory almost makes the case stronger. I thought the prosecution's impeachment of its own witness that you showed in the earlier clip, I thought was exceptionally compelling. I mean, 5 times what is necessary to have killed Eric was what he ingested. I thought that, in addition to, they've made a very strong proffer as to motive, that she had a girlfriend, she had a boyfriend, she had a lot of financial incentive, whether the jury heard it or not, that she falsified certain documents and took out line of credit on the property. I think it's all there.
Mm-hmm. Right, but if you look at the big picture with this woman and the whole context, when you think about how she took out a life insurance policy on Eric 2 weeks before his death, we knew several weeks before his death, he thought that she poisoned him. He ate a sandwich and went to the hospital because he thought that she had poisoned him. So there we have, what the prosecution will say was attempt number 1 on his life. And as you noted, the motive to be with this lover and also to eliminate that massive debt, $4.5 million in debt that she owed to, I believe, 20 different creditors at the time. Mike Gould, are these things convince you at all as we're having this conversation?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I believe in the criminal justice system strongly. I believe in the Constitution. So, yeah, she probably is guilty, but it has to be proven. So most surprisingly, many of these cases you covered, Julie, I'm surprised there's not a plea deal. When they look at the facts, that they're really rolling the dice. And in this case, I agree with both you and Ben. But the question is there any reasonable doubt that one juror in that jury pool is going to be like, wait a second, this is, especially with the scientific evidence, because you could have, again, experts on both sides. I don't know if there is an expert on the other side, frankly, but that dispute the facts. And then once that's implanted in the juror's brain, it's reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, I love the point you brought up about why not a plea deal? And obviously, you gentlemen know we're just not privy at CourtTV to those discussions unless someone lets us know after the fact if there was something offered or if there were negotiations. But on that point, Ben Chu, let me ask you this, please. Is there something that you think could have been an appropriate offer by the state of Utah to resolve this, to not put the Richins family through a trial and to also administer justice for Ms. Richins if she did what the state says she did?
Yeah, I think a plea might have been in order, but again, as you pointed out, we don't know what the communications were, and someone who's capable of doing something like this and leaving her 3 children without their father may not think the way we do, and it may be her decision to roll the dice.
That's a great point, Ben. That's a great point. You can offer great pleas to defendants if they are not reasonable people. I know you both have seen it many times. I've been there when I'm thinking, what more could you want? And even if the evidence is as clear as day, sometimes people just want to exercise their rights. It is her right to have the trial, and she is proclaiming her innocence, and she's going to stay cloaked in it unless and until the state of Utah proves otherwise. Ben Chu, Mike Gould, appreciate your points on this. We're going to talk some more. Stand by, please. Welcome back. This morning, our spotlight is on the Amish mother accused in the drowning of her 4-year-old son, Vincent. This was seen on video, and she was saying that she was giving Vincent to God.
I gave him to God today.
You gave him to God today?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I threw him in the lake, and I gave him to God. And people are going to tell me I am crazy, but he is real, and he loves you. He really does love you. He loves you. And I doubted him. I doubted him so many times, but I am to tell you, he is coming soon. He is coming very soon. Prepare your hearts. The end is close. And I'm for sure supposed to tell you that he does love you.
Ruth Miller will be in court this morning. She has opted for a bench trial, so no jury. Miller has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, and prosecutors allege that she drowned her son believing that God was speaking to them. Authorities say that her husband, Marcus, tragically caused his own drowning death that same day. Now, while she was competent to stand trial, the judge could still send her to a mental institution if there's a finding of not guilty by reason of insanity. So she would be in the confines of a state-run mental hospital if the judge finds according to her plea. If not, it would be potentially state prison for her if she's found guilty. Let's talk about this. Let's bring in our law enforcement analyst guests, Sunny Slaughter and Mike Gould. Watching that video, it gets sadder and sadder every time to me. I think I've seen it multiple times. And at first, I think my first reaction looking at it was just, I was so angry at what happened. I think everybody in the public was outraged when you hear about this. And then you watch it and you watch it and you see she is clearly unwell. Sunny, your thoughts on how this is going to go today, please.
Oh, I felt the same. I was so angered by the circumstances initially, but as I watched her, first it made me nervous because how she was touching the law enforcement officer, which I thought he handled very well. You can clearly see that she has completely broken with reality. And postpartum is it's a real condition. It is severe. And even though the child was 4 years old, because I think it has gone so long without treatment, it has exacerbated her mental health and her decline in instability. Even though she was moving about her daily life, you can really see it in her. And I just think that the judge is going to go with their plea, and she should be sentenced to a mental institution as opposed to a prison, so she can get clear understanding of not only her actions, but how her pregnancy has impacted what she has done. Because once she realizes this, I think it's going to cause another downward spiral for her.
Right, exactly, Sunny. Let's look at another clip together. Lieutenant Gould, I'll come to you on the other side of this one. This is Ruth Miller speaking with police.
Ma'am, can you explain to me what happened? Who did you throw in the water?
I gave my son to God.
Your son?
Yes.
Where's your husband?
He went for a walk this morning.
And you haven't seen him since?
He didn't ever come back. And we went to the boat and his clothes were there. And God told me he's in the lake and a fish swallowed him. And you're actually supposed to go look for him in the bottom of the lake. And you will find the fish. And you will find my husband.
I need to know where your husband's at.
He's at the bottom of the lake in a fish.
He's in a fish.
Yes.
There's no fish large enough on an Atwood to swallow your husband.
He's at the bottom of the lake in a fish.
What was going through the minds of these police officers? Lieutenant, what are you thinking as you're watching them interact with her?
Yeah, Julie, thanks again for having me. I'm so happy I'm on with Sunny. I'm more happy that I agree with her 100%. I don't have to disagree with my friend on this. So I've been in this situation, actually, and as Sunny said, psychosis, postpartum depression, these are real things. I remember as a rookie cop being called to an apartment for unknown reasons, and there was a young mother holding her 4-month-old child. She was in tears. And she said to both me and my partner, you have to help me. I want to hurt my child. And we obviously took the child, called social services, et cetera. But I was so happy that she was having psychotic episodes, but she had this moment of clarity to call 911. And now, in retrospect, I think back on all these cases, if these people would have recognized this, which obviously they couldn't ahead of time. So again, that child that I dealt with would have been dead. Now, I'm not sure. She certainly got adopted and is living a life. She's alive. So yeah, I agree with you. Filicide, the killing of a child, it's not that it's uncommon, but not that uncommon. Andrea Yates, Susan Smith, Casey Anderson, something like that. This is. You know what I meant, but it's not uncommon. So I agree. I think 100% with the bench trial is probably wise, and the judge should go to a mental institution because she's obviously not well and probably won't be well.
Right. And speaking of Casey Anthony, you never know what can happen. She was acquitted by that jury of the murder charge, so who knows? Here, this lady is going judge, which tells me, I have a feeling that this is going to be very expeditiously done. I'm envisioning perhaps a stipulation to the facts, perhaps, a very specific witness testimony, perhaps only confined to the mental health issues. I don't really see challenges to the facts, but more so, it seems to me, going bench rather than jury. That's indicating to me, I think that this defense team knows what they've got, where the fight is. The fight is not in contending who did this, but it's mitigating the future and the damages and what could happen if this woman is allowed to walk amongst us and allowed to be back with her other kids. So this morning, she's going to go before the judge, and we're going to keep everybody posted as to what happens there. Final thoughts with you both. Sonny, I want to ask you, you do so much law enforcement training work. How would you grade these police officers in the way that they handled this situation, this emergency, and this mentally unwell individual?
Well, first, let me say I'm so glad to be on with Mike. This is our first time together. I love him. But I think they did an excellent job. They were very calm. They were focused. They were not rushed or hurried. And I think this is really good training. And I thought about this. This is a really good training video. And particularly these clips that CourtTV is showing would be really good for law enforcement professionals to show compassion, empathy, while also doing their job as law enforcement, asking the right questions, being present in the moment, not being distracted. This is a good opportunity for law enforcement to learn. And using this clip is something that I would absolutely use in training. I think they handled this case very well, given the circumstances.
Definitely. Lieutenant, I see you nodding. You agree?
Of course, 100%. It could be a training video. If you notice, these guys are mature, seasoned officers. Sure, she violated their personal space. That doesn't give them, technically, they could have taken her to the ground or pushed her away. The other officer, if you notice, was kind of triangulated around her if something went sideways. But this is mature, and this doesn't happen. This is probably the first call they ever get in their entire police career of something like this. So I thought it was amazing. Agree again with my friend Sonny. It could be a training video of exactly how that's done, that by mature, seasoned officers that have empathy towards people. Thought it was a great video, and agree with Sonny, of course.
Yeah, they should be commended. Hopefully they get some commendation within their department or something for handling this so well. And we know the eyes on this case have come all over the world. This garnered so much attention because of the shocking nature of it. And thank you both, for reiterating and teaching all of us something, reiterating and teaching us something with respect to touching officers. This is a good reminder for everybody. You don't ever put your hands on a police officer. You don't do that yet, right? Sonny's, oh, that's the quickest way for something bad to happen. You never, yeah, and even, I'll leave you with this, Lieutenant, because you're on the show, you're a canine expert, the canine commander. When I would run into my friends, who are canine handlers, around the courthouse and all that, and you want to say hi if it was somebody I haven't seen in a while, and I was always like, oh, I want to hug you, but I don't know what that dog's going to do. I'm not going to hug you because I don't want, and that was always a smart move, They're protective. All right, we got to go. We'll hit a break and be right back. We're talking about Kouri Richins and what is tipping the scales. Was she trapped in her relationship with Eric? Well, that's what his friend says she said. That's next.